Welcome back. You're watching The Money Show with me, Kavita Thapliyal. We move on. Recently, the center released guidelines for advertisements by celebrities and social media influencers. These guidelines aim to prevent individuals from misleading their followers through false claims. Let's bring on board Manisha Kapoor, Chief Executive Officer and Secretary General ASCI, and Neha Nagar, a finance influencer, to understand more about these guidelines. Hello and good evening to both of you, Manisha and Neha. Manisha, I'll come to you first because thank you for joining us today. And let's talk about the guidelines for social medias, which been doing rounds in media since a very long time. We've had discussions earlier as well. I just want to understand the highlights and your take on these guidelines for social media influencers and celebrities. Are they enough? What's your take on it?
So I think the guidelines are pretty much in line with the intent of the ASCI guidelines that were also released in May 2021. And I think essentially what they are saying is that if you have a material connection with the brand that you're talking about, that you need to disclose it to consumers. I think where the granularity comes in is in terms of how to disclose and when to disclose. But I think the basic principle on which these guidelines have come in are pretty much aligned with the ASCI guidelines that were brought in earlier.
All right, Neha, let's come to you now because a lot of action around there, the fraternity that you come from. Help me understand what exactly was happening, and why the need for these guidelines.
So, Kavita, thank you for inviting me, first of all. And since 2020, we saw a rise in almost everything from IPO, crypto, to startup funding, and to influencers also. I also started my journey in 2020 only. But after 2020, we see n number of finance influencers giving advices, giving education on the topics in which they are not expert or they haven't studied about. So, and because of those things, people used to get misled by some advices कि stock में invest करना, crypto में या कैसे, because people are looking for easy money, so they don't want to get educated, they just want to get some tips and tricks कि कहाँ उनका पैसा invest करके double हो जाएगा. So that was the reason people started falling into traps. And there was multiple fake accounts on Instagram, YouTube, Telegram of finance influencers like me. And people used to claim that they are the original IDs and they had more followers than the original IDs. For example, I am not on Telegram. So on Telegram, I had multiple IDs by my name, having followers of 30,000, 40,000. And what they used to do, they used to send stock names, suggestions, ki buy this today and sell at this. So they were giving quick money tips to audience, and because audience were looking for the tips, so they used to apply those and incurred losses. So I used to receive a lot of emails कि मैम ऐसे हो गया, आपके नाम से ऐसे हो रहा है. So I went to cyber security office and filed the complaint and done all the things which I had to do by making videos, also by educating that I don't have any Telegram, I don't advise on stocks, I am not capable to advise on stocks, I'm not SEBI registered. So that was my role, which I did. But then also there are multiple finance influencers who are actually giving advice on stocks, crypto, NFTs, कौन सा खरीद रहा है, कौन सा नहीं, जिसके लिए लाइसेंस चाहिए होता है वो उनके पास नहीं है. So this is why ASCI also came into the picture. If you are promoting something, for example, for any brand, if I'm promoting a crypto brand or
I wanted to
credit
understand.
card, buy now,
so this
pay
is what
later.
I wanted to understand. How the promotion and the paid partnerships were taking place, and what will change after these guidelines? Because a lot has been guided and asked to be done. When you talk about promotional post or you talk about promoting anything and everything.
Of course, because just I told you that 2020, 2021 was the year when we saw startup funding at boom, IPOs at boom. So companies used to come to influencers to promote their brands. And the highest number of brands which we used to get queries of to promote was about crypto, buy now, pay later, credit cards. And out of which only few are there in the market today. Some of them uh, got shut down because of XYZ reason, because of guidelines by RBI or anything. But we finance influencers were promoting those, and we were not actually, we didn't have any guidelines कि हमें disclose करना है. So we were promoting, and people used to watch and get buy the products. But since Sky 2021 guidelines, we started putting hashtag collab, hashtag ad, hashtag paid partnership. So people were aware कि अच्छा ये paid है, because that's why she is talking positive about the brand. And now audience is aware कि this is paid. Now we have to do our own due diligence, and then we have to purchase. So this was the reason why SEBI came into the picture.
So Neha, clearly you are a financial influencer, but when we talk about influencers, that belong to other categories, what kind of a promotion setup or a paid setup were they working? If you can just give us any idea or clue about, are they paid post-wise, are they paid reach-wise? What do actually brands look at, which may not change after these guidelines, Neha?
If a brand is picking an influencer, then they check their followers number, their brand value. It's not just about the followers number or the views they are getting, their brand value also. Like if I am promoting a brand, I'm not just doing it for money, but we are exchanging brand value also. Like if I am with the XYZ brand, then my brand value will also get transferred to that brand, so that customers can trust on my name and purchase this product. So whenever a brand is looking for influencers, they check, of course, number of views they will get, number of followers they have, and what kind of audience they have. Does their audience trust them or not? So that is also important.
All right. Manisha, now coming to you, how do you think is this industry with social media influencers especially headed? Do you think we need more of these guidelines, or maybe you think to start off with, this is fine because we are talking about an industry where, the creativity is maximum at the platform, and this platform can be really used well if regulated really well. It also looks like really poised to grow. What are your views on this?
I agree. It is an industry that is still nascent. It is still emerging in terms of the various opportunities that influencers and brands have to work with each other. And I think so long as the consumer interest is protected, we would be quite happy to see greater collaborations, because it's an exciting way to advertise. It's an exciting way in which brands are reaching consumers. And I think just the creativity that influencers are unleashing, is quite interesting and entertaining, even for consumers to watch. So I think this is poised to grow. And I think so long as the consumer interest is kept at the center of the discussion, because we must remember that it is consumer trust that is fueling this economy, like it fuels so many other sectors. And I think so long as both influencers and brands realize that holding the audience's attention is a matter of the audience trusting this communication, and therefore they must take all steps to protect that very, very fiercely. I think we will see many more ways in which this relationship will evolve. So in fact, one of the things that we discussed in a recent report that we released is that we also feel that influencers would be able to engage in many more ways than just being the last mile communicators. And we feel that there are some exciting times ahead in terms of brands and investors working with each other.
Exactly. So Neha, your views on the same question that I asked Manisha, because it's very important to regulate this industry very well if we want to make maximum use out of it. Because now we just have the basic guidelines in place. A lot needs to be done from the consumers end also. But then when you talk about regulating, to what extent you think that this should be regulated? Especially, you coming from the influencers category. What all do you think that should be regulated?
I think the things which needed to be done has already been done. We have been penalized also, like we have a penalty of up to 10 lakh rupees if we don't follow these guidelines. So we are from 2021, since the SKY guidelines came in, we are using hashtag paid promotion, hashtag everything, and we are doing our own due diligence. Yes, because when we were new, we made some mistake. We used to pick some products which we were not actually using. But after these guidelines, we are more cautious before picking any product. If I'm using it, then only I will promote it. If not using it, then I have to use it for a week or something to see how they're handling customer services, how is their customer interface on the app, and then I will be confident, okay, now I can promote. And if anything happens, then I can talk to the agencies or SKY or SEBI ki I have done my due diligence. Apart from it, I think the main thing I noticed in the recent guideline was that we have to put throughout the video the tag of paid partnership or something, and we have to say it in audio also. Earlier we were not saying in audio ki this is sponsored, but now after this guideline we need to say it in audio also. So I think pretty much things have been done to regulate this industry, because we are at very
Do
early
you think
stage.
that
There are
having
only
this
8 crore.
Neha, do you think that having this hashtag of paid partnership or making sure that the promotion is a paid promotion impact your user base or your follower base?
Not at all. We used to think earlier influencers were very restricted कि मैं ना 24 घंटे तक नहीं लगाऊंगी, उसके
Exactly.
बाद
Yeah.
लगा दोगे.
Yeah.
हाँ, तो
Mm-hmm.
24 घंटे बाद लगा देते थे इन्फ्लुएंसर्स, बट 24 घंटे सोचते थे कि रीच आ जाए पहले, व्यूज आ जाए, देन मैं ऐड
But
करूंगी.
it doesn't impact
बट
at all. No impact.
but now, because we have seen multiple posts performing well even after we have added the tag of paid partnership. So now we are pretty sure. Even I did a brand with a government that was a government unit. So when I was uploading the video, I used the tick mark called paid partnership. But when the video got uploaded, I couldn't see the paid partnership tag. So brand kept on calling me, please put it, please put it. मैंने कहा कि मैंने किया है, अब मैं डिलीट करूंगी तो मेरी रीच डाउन हो जाएगी. बट द ब्रांड kept on focusing on कि नहीं, आपको लगाना होगा डिलीट करके दोबारा. So I deleted the video and re-uploaded by the using the same tag.
Exactly. So
Now
the brands are
brands are
also getting conscious of, yeah, which is a very good thing. But now coming to you, Manisha, now if you don't implement these guidelines, Neha told whatever, as a punishment that you have to give. But then what if these guidelines are not implemented by the other set of social media influencers? What if they slip?
So under the Consumer Protection Act 2019, endorsers are liable, if they make any false or misleading statements in their ad, and the law requires them to do their due diligence. So they must make sure that they are participating in ads after knowing what they are saying and, the kind of claims that they are making, that they actually can be substantiated. And another part of misleading ads is also not disclosing the fact that you're doing an ad. Now, the Consumer Protection Act lays down, the penalties for violations, which start anywhere from 10 lakhs to 50 lakhs for subsequent violations. So these are real penalties that influencers could face, or any endorsers, so whether they are celebrities or influencers, could face in case they do not either disclose material connection or make statements in the ads that can be considered to be misleading.
All right. Manisha, last question, and then we'll wrap up this discussion now, because you're on the panel and you are looked up as an association that's trusted, is actively asking consumers to be aware and vigilant. Tell us now, apart from these guidelines that the center has laid down, what about the homework that needs to be done from the consumers, viewers, or end users level, things that they should be keeping in mind before falling for anything?
So I think one is, for you to follow people who you believe are trustworthy. And in fact, we have so many people who, will tag ASCII when they feel that what an influencer is saying is not truthful, or they have not declared material connection. So it's not as if your audiences are completely lost and cannot make out when you're saying something which may not be entirely true. And I think in your own self-interest as an influencer or as a celebrity, if your own audiences can make out, about what you're saying, whether it's true or not, I think in your own self-interest to make sure that you are a credible source of information and knowledge, that, you are truthful and that you kind of disclose both your material connection and make sure that what you're saying in terms of the claims made in the ad are correct. Because you're absolutely right that an informed consumer is actually an honest advertiser's best friend. Consumer awareness, greater consumer vigilance keeps the advertising industry on its toes and makes sure that the content is honest and trustworthy. So I think as consumers, it is both our right and our duty to be vigilant and guard ourselves against ads as well that may be problematic. We've made it quite easy as ASCII to complain. There's a WhatsApp number that you can just send your messages to. If I have your permission, maybe I can I share that number?
Yeah, please go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's 7700012345. So you can just simply send a WhatsApp, with the ad or a link of the ad or a screenshot and tell us what your objections are, and we will look into it very seriously. So I think as consumers, we must do our bit to keep advertising honest.
All right, so these were the guidelines which Center released for social media influencers and celebrities. Thank you so much, Manisha and Neha, being on this panel and guiding our viewers and consumers for this today. We'll take a quick break, and post that, let's sort out your financial portfolio.